Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Based on a recommendation from one of my viewers, David, he said, why don't you try to do some more, some unusual grapes so we can learn something about them. And I thought that's a great idea. Why don't we do that? And if you want to go to unusual grapes, you go to Italy because they have a zillion, I mean, I'm exaggerating of course, but many grape varietals, and many of them we have not heard of. Of course, they've heard of them, they know all about them, but we haven't necessarily. I'm sure a lot of you have, just saying, but you know, most of us haven't. And one of those grape varieties is from the Alto Adige-Trentino area up in Milan, is Lagrein. Lagrein is the grape that they grow there. It's an ancient grape. It has been mentioned in the 16th century. There's texts that mention Lagrein in the 16th century. They're pretty sure that Alto Adige-Trentino is the area in which Lagrein comes from. Now, Lagrein is also produced in the Adelaide Hills of Australia, some other areas of Australia. New Zealand is messing around with it a little bit, especially in Marlborough, and they actually do Lagrein in California. You don't see a lot of it. I don't think I've ever personally tried a Lagrein from California. So Lagrein is a very tannic wine. It has that typical northern Italy acidity, good structure. Of course, with modern winemaking technology, they'll be able to calm down the tannic structure, so you get many times a much smoother wine. And of course, that's shorter maceration. You know, they don't leave it on the skins as long, so it doesn't attain all those tannins of the Lagrein. I don't know how many of you have heard of or tried a Lagrein. I looked up some Lagreins on Wine Searcher, and it's amazing. There's some that go for 85, 100, 125 bucks. Which is a lot of money. If you want to get somebody introduced to Lagrein, that's asking us to spend a lot of money. So the ones I have here today are not nearly that expensive, and I think it's going to be fun to try these wines and see what they're like. So we're going to start off with the Schreckbichl Culturenzio Lagrein from Südtirol, Alto Adige. Now, Südtirol is a province inside this region of Alto Adige. Adige is one of the main rivers that go through this area, and it's pretty mountainous up there, so you can imagine there's going to be good structure to this wine. So this is the Lagrein from there, and it is 2023. It rolls in at a Michael Jordan $23. So here you go, David. Very unusual grape varietal that many people probably have not heard of. They're pretty dark in color, and this one shows that right off the bat. I'm going to get out the whiteboard for you guys, put that right there, and show you the, oh man, the aromatics on this. It's incredible. So, very dark, kind of ruby, dark red color, hedging towards black. Fairly fresh on the rim. Let's see what we get on those. Definitely plums. Plums and dark cherries all day. A little earthiness there, a little sous les bois, under the wood earthiness. I'm getting some dark flower notes as well, but definitely dominant plum and dark cherry. Let's see what we get on the palate. That earthiness really comes through. If you like good solid kind of forest floor flavors in there, but the dark cherries and plums are nicely integrated with that. You get to sense that as an underbelly of the wine. And this has it. The tannins are definitely structured on this bad boy. But it's, you know, it's 13% alcohol. A lot of people would like that, a little lower in alcohol. Yeah, nice fruit notes. You can tell there's good structure. You can tell if they had left it on the skins any longer, this bad boy would definitely be chewy and hard to drink. But this is a smoother style, good integration though. There's a little bit of pepper coming through on the back end. What a nice introduction to Lagrein. Those red flower notes come through on the back end. You get a little bit of a grip on the finish. This is definitely a great food wine. You know, and with Christmas coming up, and I think just short of a month, if you're having prime rib, you might think about pulling out a Lagrein. I like the lingering cherry notes on this one. This has a long finish, good structure, good balance. I like that earthiness as well, that savory element that comes through. I'm going to go B+ on that. I think it's very solid. And once again, Lagrein, if you want to try it, this is a good one. This is the Schreckbichl Calterenzio Lagrein Alto Adige 2023. Good start to Lagrein if you want to dive into that category. Let's move on to the 2021. Now these guys are definitely ageable. This is the Tiefenbrunner Lagrein. Tiefenbrunner is a good producer up in northern Italy. This rolls in at $21. This is also Sud-Tirol Alto Adige. Sud-Tirol. $21. Good color on this one as well. You can see it right off the bat. And they say that first one was that's a tasty burger. I'm going to use it. Now this one seems just a hair darker, not a ton, but yeah, definitely into the deep purple, you know, ruby red, you know, ruby colored on this one. But dang, that's dark. You can see how dark that is. Okay, let's see what we get on those. This is a meaty. This is meaty on the nose, and a definitely black plum, dark cherry. I'm getting a little bit of a meat marinade component coming through. Definitely, yeah, definitely umami, and very meaty. You know, like somebody like you just barely cooked up a big rib steak, kind of meaty. All right, let's see what we get on the palate. This one's interesting. $21. That is a tasty burger. What a great wine. That meatiness on the tannins come through. Smooth, again. You know, less maceration on the skins. They're learning how to tame this bad boy. And you get this nice plum, cherry, umami notes. The marinade notes come through on this one. The barbecue spices a little bit with that nice meaty tannins. I like this one a lot. I like them both. I'm kind of torn between both of them. I mean, they're both really good. This one has more texture to it than this one. It is earthy as well, has some nice savory notes to it. A little bit of leather on the back side of this one, which is very interesting. A little bit of grip. With the food, it would be perfect. This would be great with a steak, prime rib, any of those types of things. And again, a very long, lingering finish. This one had a little more spice. This one doesn't have the spice on it that one does. This is a meatier version. Kind of like, you know, going down to the Rhone region, getting some of those real meaty Syrah-based Côte de Rhone, kind of that way. But nice, the cherries really, really linger on the back side of this wine. Good balance, good integration, great wine, $21. Now $21 is not what we call a frontline price. I think it's around $30, but if you buy a 6-pack of this, you get it for $21. I think it's, man, both of these. So if you want to experiment with Lagrein and find out what it's about, these two puppies right here, they would be a good way to start. I don't think you have to spend $85 or $100. If you have that kind of money and you want to buy a bottle, invite me over because I'd like to see what those are like. I don't think I'm going to go there personally, but what great wines. So, Lagrein, Northern Italy, 16th century it's been mentioned. So it's been around a long time, and I'm sure they really enjoy it up there and probably have it with their lamb or whatever they're, yeah, you can see it. And it would be really good with like hard cheeses, like, you know, something that really pungent. This would be really good with, yeah, good stuff. Hope you're enjoying these episodes. I really like to dig into this kind of thing, so thank you, David, for the suggestion, and we're going to do some more very interesting varietals. Of course, we have some, you know, Christmas episodes coming up. What for Christmas? The Christmas meal. These would work with prime rib. Just saying. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see these episodes. You want to see what's coming up. I'd really like to have you on board. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed and watch and make comments. I really appreciate it. And how many of you, make a comment, how many of you have actually tried Lagrein, and do you have a favorite producer? I'd like to know. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.